Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam.
Namaste everyone. I am very happy to see you all here once again for Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll start with the prayer. Om Shuklam Bhardaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopasantaye. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaham Guruve Sarvalokanam Vishije Bhavarogina Nade Sarva Vidhyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaham. தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜா சர்வவியாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாய பெருப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவா அடி போற்றி. ஓம் ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ வன்மயாதிதரதஸ்சார்த்தேஷு அபிஜ்ஞः ஸ்வராட் தேனே பிரம்மஹ்ருதாய ஆதிகவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः தேஜோ வாரிமிருதாம் யதா வினிமயோ யத்ர த்ரிசர்கோ மிருஷா धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So here in this Bhagavatam, we are all seeing Surya Vamsam. We are all seeing about the Surya Vamsam, where Sri Ramachandra Murti took birth in Surya Vamsam. We are all seeing that, and in that Rituparnan is one of the king in the Surya Vamsam dynasty. But before going to Rituparnan is called Nala Sakhan. Nala Sakhan means he's a friend of Nalan. A friend of Nalan means Nalan is a Punyashloka. Punyashloka means there is no Punyashloka other than Nalan. It is said like that. So Nalan was a ruler of Nishada Desam. He was a very, very capable king of this, and his country prospered under his rule. And chanting the name of Nalan itself will give punyam. That is why he is called Punyashloka. Nalan is called Punyashloka. In the Mahabharatam, Nalacharithram, was very much detailed. That is, he was one of the most handsome person of his time. And one day, what happened? A Brahmin came to the court, and he was describing about Damayanti, the daughter of the king Bhim of Vidarbha Desam, So Nalan, what happened after hearing about Damayanti's, about Damayanti, Nalan got impressed about the beautiful Damayanti, described by this, by the Brahmin. So Nalan also, what happened? He fell in love with her without even seeing her. But what happened? The king Nalan was unable to press his suit. So he did not even, know if Damayanti was in love with someone else. So, even the custom and tradition, in those days, it prevented him from going to Vidarbha Desam himself. And this was, too delicate mission, to entrust to someone else also. You can't say someone go and ask Damayanti if he's in love with me or so. You can't ask like that. So it's a very delicate mission. So what happened? He was thinking about that, and it was said it was said like a swan, came to help Nalan to deliver the message, to deliver this message of of Nalan falling in love with Damayanti. So what happened? Nalan lighted up. You know, after a week, Nalan got the good news from the swan. So Damayanti too had heard about him and had fallen in love with him. Now that she know that he reciprocated her love, she would arrange for the Swayamvaram. A Swayamvaram was a ceremony. Swayamvaram means it was a ceremony in which the princess choose her husband from a gathering of suitors present. So she asked Nalan to immediately come to Vidarbha Desam as soon as her Swayamvaram was announced. So Damayanti was so beautiful. She was so beautiful and attractive that even the Devas like Indran, Agni and Varunan and Yaman, also had also descended to the earth for this Swayamvaram. They also want to marry Damayanti. So what happened? They know that Nalan, Nalan want to marry Damayanti, and Nalan is a very beautiful and handsome person. He's a very beautiful and handsome person. So what happened? They threatened Nalan. Indran told him to approach Damayanti. See here. See what happened is Indran asked this Nalan to approach Damayanti and plead with her to choose from the 4 devas. So Nalan was aghast. See, how can I act against my own interest? He wanted to marry Damayanti. That is why he has come to this Swayamvaram. But what happens here? They asked Nalan to approach Damayanti and tell Damayanti to choose one of the devas, this 4 devas. So Indran even threatened him to disappear him and not to reach the Swayamvaram at all. So Nalan somehow managed to see Damayanti, but he could not see Damayanti. It's a Swayamvaram Mandapam, and you can't just like that go to the Damayanti's place and ask her. So, but somehow he managed to see Damayanti and told everything. Damayanti told him not to worry. See, he had kept the promise made to the devas, and nothing could, nothing could dissuade Damayanti from garlanding Nalan in the Swayamvaram ceremony. So what happened? Nalan came to Indran and told whatever the Nalan was so honest. He was so honest. He told everything. Whatever Damayanti told to him, he told everything to Indran. Now Indran, said, you have kept your word. Okay, you have kept your word in letter, but not in spirit. So Indran stated, now I will do what has to be done. So in the Swayamvaram Mandapam hall, that is in the Swayamvaram hall, a galaxy of all the princess was gathered. Nalan sat at one corner so as to avoid the devas, but they sought him out. They sought him out and sat next to him. All the 4 devas, they sat next to him. When Damayanti entered the hall, to her amazement, what happened? She saw all the 5 people, including all the other devas and Nalan, all the 5 people. Exactly, they were looking exactly like Nalan. But what happened? She realized that the devas were tricking. The devas were tricking her. So after watching for 5 minutes, she realized that all the 4 devas, they stared at her. They never blinked. They stared at her and never blinked. Their eyes, but with the fifth one, the 5th person, he was blinking regularly. So now Damayanti got Nalan. So the 4 devas, assumed their true form and blessed the bride. Damayanti garland Nalan, and they blessed the bride and the groom, and went back to the heaven, giving boons to Nalan. all the fire god, Varunan, Agni, Yaman, all the four of the Indran and everyone, they gave boons to Nalan, Nala Chakravarti. So, but on the way, when they were now going to heaven, after this Swayamvaram was done, and on the way they saw the Shaneshwar. Now they met Sani and the Kali Purushan. Two other demigods, two other devas. That is one is Dwapar and Kali. They were heading towards this Swayamvara Mandapam. Indran told them that the Swayamvara was already over. Why are they now approaching there? It's already over. Everything is over, and Nalan got married with Damayanti, and now everything is over. Now that this Shani and this Kali, they felt that they have been cheated, and swore that they would make the life of Damayanti, Nalan and Damayanti, hell for Nalan and Damayanti. See, no sooner than these Nalan and Damayanti had settled down in their newly married life, this Yedarai Natu Sani, the Sanishwar and Shaneshwar, the Yedarai Natu Sani, he started his mischief. And this Kali, both of them, they started their mischief. For this Kali, what happened? He entered the mind of Nalan's brother. His name is Pushkaran. Nalan's brother's name is Pushkaran. And this Kali entered into the mind of Nalan's brother and exhorted him to challenge Nalan in the game of dice. So he asked Pushkaran, he asked Nalan to come and play the game of dice. So he wanted to keep the Dharma. Nalan wanted to protect the Dharma. What happened? Nalan suffered like anything in his life. See, though Nalan was a very weak player, he accepted the challenge. Assuming that it will be a friendly game. It's a game between brothers, isn't it? So he thought that it's only a friendly game. But what happened is Pushkaran was driven by Kali, and the dice was being driven by that Shani. So what began with the stake of a ring ended up with Nalan losing everything. See, whatever he owned, he lost everything, including his kingdom. He wanted to stake his children also. But what happened? Nalan and Damayanti got two children. A son named Indrasenan. He was only 7 years old, and a daughter who is only 5 years old. But in this Sudatam, this is dice, the game of dice is called Sudatam. In this game, what happened? Our mind will get, confused. And so, he thought he already lost his children. He already kept the children. He kept the children at stake and he lost his children. That's what he thought. But here, Damayanti, what happened? She knows very well that this is a Sudatam and this Nalan will get confused and everything she knows. And what happened? She asked his charioteer, that is Varshneyan. His name is Varshneyan, who is a charioteer, to take the children to her parents at Vidarbha. So Varshneyan, he started crying. See, the whole family is now shattered. He has to carry the children of Nalan and Damayanti to Vidarbha. So he cryingly, the children were all crying, and he, this Varshneyan, he carried the children in the chariot to Vidarbha and left the children to their grandparents. And he never wanted to. He kept the chariot. Everything of Nalan is gone now. Even the charioteer also he kept them and played. But this charioteer, this Varshneyan, he doesn't want to work with Pushkaran. So he went out. He resigned his job and he went out, and he went to the kingdom of Ayodhya and joined Rituparnan's team. Rituparnan was then the king of Ayodhya. and he joined there. Here, what happened after losing everything, Nalan was asked by Pushkaran to leave the country. Pushkaran made them to, leave the country on foot. See, Nalan, now he wore only a loin cloth and Damayanti only a single sari. Nalan did not like to speak to Damayanti because he has lost, as he has lost everything, he did not even like to speak to her. Because he is the husband and he has to take care of Damayanti. And until now, he was taking care of Damayanti and the kingdom, and they are all flourishing like anything. But now what happened? He lost everything and he doesn't want to see the wife, face, even the face of his wife. But what happened? But Damayanti, she followed Nalan everywhere, and they walked and they roamed everywhere in the forest or in the without food and hungry and tired and weary. They were all walking and walking and walking. After 20 days, one night, what happened? They saw a lot of sparrows, small sparrows sitting together. So Nalan thought, okay, I can put this cloth, on the sparrows so that I can eat the sparrow. Okay, we got something to eat. And those are all, it was told that it's a golden sparrow also. So he wanted to catch the birds, So using that cloth, he wore. So he removed the cloth he wore and put on the, back of the birds. But to his surprise, what happened? All the birds, flew away with his towel. So they flew above and told, hey Muda, you fool. We were not birds. We were the coins in the dice. We did not like you going, with the cloth even. See, that is how this Yezhai not Shani, it will be worst, That is why we have to pray to God always, the God is a supreme thing. The Almighty is so supreme that at least He will reduce the, that intense punishment to a limited one. So he lost even the cloth in, they said, we did not like you going with the cloth on your hip. So we came here to take away your cloth. So thus Kali was so rude. He took away everything from him. But Damayanti, he wrapped one end of the, the garment around Nalan. Now, whenever they were near people, he will garland. Like, he will put that garment, around his hip. See, they were totally exhausted. And they reached within the striking distance of the capital of Vidarbha Desam. Vidarbha Desam is the Desam of Damayanti. So where the king Bhim is the Damayanti's father, he lived. So now after so many days, Nalan did not speak a word to Damayanti. Now after so many days, he spoke to Damayanti. He told Damayanti to return to her father's place. This is your father's place. It's so near. You can go. You don't have to follow me. But Damayanti said, why are you always saying that? I don't want to go to my father's place. I will be with you. Wherever you go, wherever you sleep, whatever you take, I will be with you. And I don't want to go back. I don't want to put you in that, in this situation and then go to my father's place. You also come with me. My father will not think otherwise. But Nalan did not hear that. And that night, what happened? Damayanti and Nalan, they were sleeping in a, Par Mandapam. Par Mandapam means old yard. Something like old yard. Because of hungry and, over-exhaustion, Damayanti, she fell asleep. But Nalan was awake. The whole time he was awake. And he decided to leave Damayanti. He thought that, she would return to her home after he deserted her. He tore off an end, of her sari, just, sufficient to cover his, cover the bare minimum. And quietly, he slinked away. He walked some distance and away from her, But what happened after walking some distance away from her? The affection and love for her, made him to come again in the mandapam to see her face. See, in the Vyasa Bharatam, it was told, it is said that Nalan shouted in the mid of the night. He shouted, all the demigods, all the devas, all the devas were scared to see Damayanti's face. Because Nalan is there. Nalan is the husband of Damayanti. Nobody can even dare to see Damayanti's face at that time. And now what happened? She is my wife. And now what happens? She is my wife and she is sleeping alone in the mandapam without anybody's help. And even the wind blows very mildly when she was in the kingdom. But now it's not like that. She is sleeping alone and she is in the fate. It's such a bad fate we have to suffer. So this is all happening. Okay, this is all happening for a reason. And he shouted to all the, devatas and Adityas and Ashtavasukkal and Ekadasi Rudra and, Ashwini Devatas and Marud Ganangals. Everyone, say all of you, should protect her. She is all alone now. Dharma should protect her. I can't take her with me because I myself is suffering. This is my fate and she should not, she should not undergo this. So I can't take it. I can't see her suffering. So I am leaving you. Dharma will protect you. Saying this, he left the place and after some time, he was so vexed and he left Damayanti there in the mandapam alone and he left. Here what happened? Damayanti woke up and she could not find her husband. She could not find her husband and she was so worried. She was all searching here and there, she was all searching her husband and she was all shouting. She was, the entire forest, she was shouting and she was shouting like, Punyashloka. Hey, Punyashloka, where are you? Where are you? Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me? Chanting your name itself will give punyam to everyone. So why did you leave me? Why did you leave me? She was very much exhausted and she was very tired. And she was shouting and she came to, Chedi Desha. She came there. There, what happened? She has to work. She never wanted to return to her father's place. So there she worked as a maid servant. She went to that Chedi Desam and she worked as a maid servant to the queen. With a half sari, she would not take her full meals. She would not take her meals. Always, crying and doing so much of work. She never, disclosed herself also to the king or the queen of the Chedi Desam. So, but in the meanwhile, what happened? This king Bhim, who is the father of Damayanti, they become, their parents, that is Damayanti's parents, they become so worried as they could not find the daughter and the son-in-law and the children are, with them and they refused to take the food. They were always crying. They wanted their mother. So they were always crying. So as grandparents, they don't know what to do. So they sent lots and lots of Brahmins to various kingdoms in search of this Nalan and Damayanti. So they also promised to give a lot of villages to the Brahmins. One such Brahmin called Sudevan, he went to that Chedi Desha to search, Nalan and Damayanti. So there when he was, taking food, he was taking food there and he saw the maid servant. Shairendri. Shairendri means maid servant. Serving him food, making chandanam, paste, and, doing all the chores there. Seeing her, this Sudevan, started crying. He could realize her. He could, he started crying. And Damayanti asked the reason for crying. Seeing her, the Brahmin Sudeva told him, "Oh God, I am your brother's friend. I could not tolerate to see you in such a fate, such a state." Seeing them, talking, this Sairendri and the Sudevan were talking, seeing them talking, the queen, means this queen's daughter, the Chedi Desam's queen's daughter, her name is Sunandha. She went and she told her mom, and the queen came there and asked, "Oh Brahmin, why are you talking? Why are you speaking to my maid servant? Why are you here and what are you talking? And why are you crying?" So the Brahmin told, "This woman is not the maid servant. As you think, she is not the Sairendri. She is the, queen of Nishada Desam. She is the Damayanti. She is the daughter of Vidarbha Desam. And she is the wife of Nala Chakravati." So now the queen was so surprised, he was, "Oh, what is this? I don't know." Hearing this, the queen, what happened? He washed this Damayanti's forehead with water. And she saw that the red mole there in the forehead. She tearfully said, "Oh my God, oh Damayanti, I am your aunt. See, I am your mother's sister. I came to your kingdom when you are born. And everyone said this red mole in your forehead will give you Mangalam to you. So, my darling, what happened to this? So, you should not dress like this. You should never dress like this. And I will give you all the silk saris and everything, crown and everything. So please accept everything. And I will send you with all the, paraphernalia to your father." But Damayanti refused to take all the, jewels and saris and everything. "And I can't wear all these things, without seeing my husband. Without my husband, I can't dress. So, but with all respect to you, you can send me to my father's kingdom. Because I came to know from this Brahmin that my children were not taking food without me. So I will go." Okay. Thus she went back to Vidarbha Desam and lived there with that, torn, worn half saree. She lived there without taking food and everything. She lived in the Vidarbha Desam. In the meanwhile, what happened? This Nalan, he left Damayanti. On the pitch of the dark night, he left Damayanti and was wandering in the forest. But what happened in the forest? He saw a pond. And due to that rainy season, what happened? All the flowers were drowned. The moon was also behind the clouds. And all the cranes went to that Mansarovar due to that rainy season. Nalan thought that even this Devam, became so angry to me. Devam has become angry to me. And even I could not see the flowers, the Chandran, that is the moon, or the beautiful birds, which will remind me of Damayanti's, eyes, walk, and her beauty. So they were all angry with me. I don't know what I have done. My fate, this is all my fate. So I have, see, I don't know what I have done that made me, that made me to get separated from my very beloved wife. Thinking that what happened, he was roaming all over the forest. At that time, he heard a voice. "Punyashloka, Punyashloka, please save me, protect me. As he is a king, Nala Chakravati is a king, isn't it? So what happened? He doesn't have to have a second thought. He doesn't have a second thought. Immediately he rushed there and he, he said, "I am coming. Just wait, I am coming. I am coming to protect you." Saying that, he entered that forest, and from a distance, away, he said that a smoke was, the whole forest fire. There was a forest fire, and he said, I'm coming, and some distance away, he saw that a snake was, trapped in the burning forest fire. He entered there, he entered into the fire and saved the snake. The snake was Karkodagan. He saved him and he wanted to put him down. But the Karkodagan, he said, don't put me down. O king, don't put me down. I once, criticized sage Narada. So he cursed me like this. He said, one day Punyashloka will come and save you. You just, count and walk, carrying me for some distance. So Nalan, accepted that. And he was putting the Karkodagan around his neck, and he started counting. Ekha, Dvi, Trini, Chatur, Pancha, Chat, Sapta, Ashta, Nava, Desha. Immediately when he said Dasham, after he counted that Dasham, Karkodagan bit him. Dasham can be kept as a, Kriya Padam also. So a snake will not, unnecessarily bite a person unless told to do so. So, or otherwise any mischief, if you do, and if somebody did some mischief, then it will hurt you. So here, Karkodagan said, the poison, Karkodagan, don't worry. O King Nala, don't worry. Okay, the poison will disfigure and discolor you. But you need to remain incognito because for some time. Because if you starve to death, you are a Dharma Purushan. If you are a Punyashloka, you are a very, very honest man. You are the Dharma, the whole embodiment of Dharma. So if you suffer, if you starve to death, the whole world will cry. So the Dharma will also cry. So using your, disfigured structure, you go to Ayodhya and work under the kingdom of Rituparnan with this, with the poison. And this Raja Shariram became this Raja Shariram. The Nalan was looking good. He was a very handsome person. But what happened that Raja Shariram became a dwarf. He became dwarf. He became black. His skin had darkened. And his the body, the body had shrunk. And all his appearances, all his appearances were more than hideous, Whenever you feel, he said, the Karkodagan said that the good day will come. Certainly the good day is going to come. And whenever you feel that you have to return to your original self, that is the original Shariram, just wrap the silk garment around you. Travel in this, south direction for 5 days, and you will reach the kingdom of Ayodhya. So the Karkodagan went away, giving that silk garment to this Nalan. And Nalan became a dwarf-like structure with all black and everything. He went to Rituparnan's kingdom. And, and with some difficulty, he got an, with all the difficulty, because nobody will allow this, this type of person to go inside the kingdom. He told that he is called Bahugan. And somehow he managed, he got an audience with the king and work in his stables. His prowess with the horses, soon reached the king's ears. And he began to choose and groom the horses for the king's personal use. King's personal, horses. So, and he also began to drive the chariot, king's chariot, on a regular basis. When he has gained sufficient familiarity with the king, Rituparnan, he requested that he would he would like to prepare meal for the king. The meal was a big hit, and Nalan became the head of the stables and the kitchen and the king's confederate. See, Nala Baham, we used to say Nala Bhagam. Nalan used to cook very beautifully, very deliciously. So Nalan, now what happened? Nalan reached the dead end. He did not know to proceed to look for Damayanti or to get back to his kingdom. Both the husband and wife were separately waiting for fate to make the next move. So in the meanwhile, what happened? Damayanti was in the Vidarbha Desam, but she refused to take food or dress herself. So she was completely weeping, always crying and full of morose, sad. She was so sad. And Damayanti's mother, she couldn't tolerate her daughter's, this kind of state. So Damayanti's mother, what happened? She insisted her to take food, and but she refused to, take it, saying that try to find my husband at least. Try to find my husband. Otherwise, don't worry about me. Take care. Look after the children. Okay, after my death, I'll die because I'm not taking any food. So I'll die soon. So look after my children. So hearing this, from Damayanti, her mother, she felt very, very sad, and she also cried, saying, what to do now? How can I find out? Then they sent so many brahmanas to all the kingdoms. She said, this Damayanti, she said that she asked the king to send all the, lot of brahmanas, and she, she prepared one slokam. And she wanted all the Brahmins to go and say that slokam. The meaning of the slokam is like a question. That is, the question was, how much of a man is a person, how is such a man is a person who not only deserts his wife, in the middle of the night, but also, steals half her clothes. This is what the slokam tells, the meaning of the slokam is. But a few weeks later, one of the, emissaries, he reported that King Rituparnan has a new aide, and who is skilled in horsemanship and cooking, in both areas in which the Nalan is very proficient. So I sought out that man, and unfortunately, he turned out to be a dwarfish and ugly and not like the king. He's not like a king. However, but as per your instruction, I told the slokam there. And he replied that if a person, that question, that slokam form of question, that person, he replied that a person did, in order to, make an obstinate wife return to her father, then he has a man, so difficulty or hardship one had, the wife, how many ever difficulties, see how many, he said that the answer to the question is so perfect that, how many ever difficulty or hardship one had, their wife, they understand the difficult situation of their husband and keep, and they tolerate everything, and a good day will certainly going to come, and there is always a victory to Dharma. Everything apart, from the description of this Bahugan fits. So Damayanti had to meet the man. The slokam is like this, like Vaishyamyapi samprapta kopanayati kulastriyah atmanam atmana satyah jitasvargo na samshayah. Here the answer to the question, that is the slokam, fits. Damayanti thought a plan. She called her mother. She told that all the answer to my question is right. That is perfect. But I want to see the man. So what I will do is, without telling the father, without telling her father, she told that she will give a letter stating that another Swayamvaram for Damayanti is going to happen. Since Nalan was missing for a long time and could not know whether he is living or dead, she told, I am going to give this letter through a messenger, sending him to Ayodhya. He called the same, that Sudevan, that Brahman called Sudevan, and asked him to carry the letter to the Ayodhya, who came to rescue in that place, the Sudevan, the same person who came to rescue Damayanti from the Chedi Desha. So he went to Ayodhya carrying this letter. Rituvarnan read the letter. He knows about the beauty of Damayanti. He knows how beautiful she is, and she thought, oh, why can't why not the luck favors him? So Rituvarnan told him Nalan about Damayanti's Swayamvaram. He told that Damayanti is going to get married again. Since Nalan is not there, and they don't know whether Nalan is dead or alive. And so Damayanti is going to marry again, and the Swayamvaram is a big Swayamvaram is going to happen at Vidarbha Desam, and all the prince and all the kings and all those people have already landed there. And Swayamvaram, that the letter states that the Swayamvaram is going to be held tomorrow. So we have to go there. So hearing this, you can imagine the state of Nalan. Nalan felt very, very bad. Closing his eyes, he was weeping. Inside he thought, how could it be possible for a queen, who had 2 children, to remarry? Rituvarnan asked, he was seeing Nalan, and he asked, what happened? Why are you closing your eyes, and what are you doing? He said, I was thinking about the type of horses that can go there, quickly, because the Swayamvaram is going to happen tomorrow. So we have to go. So that the letter that Sudevan bought shows that the Swayamvaram is going to happen tomorrow, and we have to go fast. We have to go quick. So I have to make the horses to, I have to select the horses which, will go quickly. Rituvarnan said, we have to make it fast. We have to make it fast, as it was only, as it is 100 miles away. So Rituvarnan called this Bahugan and told, how can we do this? Bahugan said, that is Bahugan, that is Nalan. He told, don't worry, we will be there before Swayamvaram, and we can see, he started, preparing the chariot and other person, and this Rituvarnan asked this Varshanayan. Varshanayan was a charity, and he went to that Ayodhya already, isn't it? Already, but he couldn't find out this. He could not, identify this Bahugan, because he was all, so ugly and dwarfy and everything. So he couldn't identify this Nalan here. But Varshanayan, the charioteer of Nalan, he has also come to work there. So Rituvarnan told him, okay, with told Varshanayan to be there in the chariot also. And Rituvarnan called this Varshanayan, and to be along with that, along with Bahugan as a helper. Bahugan will be the main charioteer, and he will be the helper. When Bahugan got the chariot, holding that, Kadivalam, the rope, tied to the horses, Varshanayan was wonderstruck, because, the style of riding the chariot, holding that Kadivalam, the style of standing, placing the leg and everything, everything is same as, everything is same or similar to his boss, Nalan Chakravarti. He thought that this dwarf person may be a yogi also. It is not simply a dwarf, he is a yogi also. He thought this dwarf person's, this Rituvarnan also, he also went inside the chariot, and the chariot went in a very great speed. On the way, what happened? This Rituvarnan's scarf, flew off, and he wanted to retrieve it. But Nalan made a quick calculations of the horses' speed and estimated that the distance they had covered since then, he told that the king that if they returned returned for this scarf, they would miss this Swayamvaram. So Ritubardhan was so surprised to see that, the Ashwavidyai, Ashwavidyai of Bahugan. Ritubardhan told them, oh, okay, don't think too much of yourself. Don't brag yourself that you got this Ashwavidyai. I got that Akshavidyai and Ghanana Vidyai. I can tell you how many leaves are there in the tree and how many flowers are there in the tree, how many fruits are there in the tree. I can tell you that without even counting and without even seeing that. Ritubardhan, told there are, 2 crores of leaves and 50,000 fruits and, in the nearby tree. Nalan said, anybody can say anything. Anybody, if I say that there are 10,000 leaves, nobody is going to count that. So you can say anything. But Ritubardhan said, okay, we will have a test, okay? Bring that branch, that branch contains 150 leaves and, means 150 leaves and 25 fruits and this much of flowers. Since they were, nearing that Vidarbha Desam and were ahead of time, Nalan tested and Ritubardhan was successful. Ritubardhan got that Akshavidyai and Ganana Vidyai. So he was so surprised. And Bahugan told Ritubardhan, asked Ritubardhan to teach the Akshavidyai. If you teach me the Akshavidyai and Ganana Vidyai, I can teach you this Ashwavidyai. So they stopped the chariot and Ritubardhan gave the Upadesa of Akshavidyai and Ganana Vidyai to Bahugan. And Bahugan, in turn, want to give Upadesam of Ashwavidyai, but Ritubardhan told, no, we are getting late and after the Swayamvaram I will get it. Once Bahugan got the Upadesam of this Akshavidyai and Ganana Vidyai, it's a mantram, when it entered into his body, that is when it entered, after the Upadesam, what happened? The poison of Karkodagan came out with the Kali. When Nalan saw the Kali Purushan there, he started to curse Kali Purushan. Kali stopped him, saying that already your wife has cursed me. Your wife Damayanti had cursed me, and I was choking inside your body with the poison of Karkodagan inside. And those, the dialogue between this Nalan, that is this Bahugan, and this Kali was not known to anybody. Even to this Varshnyan or the Ritubardhan. So the Karkodagan said, those who remember me, you, and I am going to climb this tree here, this Vrishika tree. Those who remember me, you, and this Vrishika tree will be immediately free from the Kali Bhayam, Kali Dosham, fear of Kali. So this conversation of Kali and this Kali Purushan and Nalan is known only to them. Ritubardhan could not hear the conversation, nor this Varshnaya. Thus they entered the, Vidarbha Desam. But, there was no sign of Swayamvaram at all. There was nobody there, no sign of Swayamvaram. So this Ritubardhan, this Raja, but Ritubardhan is a king of Ayodhya. So he was going to Vidarbha Desam. So King Bhiman was the king of Vidarbha Desam. So he invited Ritubardhan. Ritubardhan was a little bit embarrassed to see all these things. There was nobody there. And Bhiman, the king Bhiman was so he's an old person. He's an elderly person. So he asked what is the reason of visiting there. Ritubardhan was so embarrassed. But he said that, no, you are an elderly person. I want to take the blessing of you. So I came here. I came here to visit her. And I want to take the blessing. So, but when they entered the kingdom, Damayanti was waiting on her balcony, listening to the, that hoof beats of the carriages past her palace, She immediately recognized the pattern of the hoof beats of the chariot. It's being driven by Nalan, Nala Chakravarti. So Nalan's horses there, the horses, Nalan's horses was already there, because this Varshanayan left the horses and children there already. So their horses, the horses are very intelligent animal. So Nalan's horses, which came there in the Vidarbhadesam for dropping out the children, sensing the presence of Nalan there. So Rituparnam, everyone, they understood that Nalan has come, but seeing Nalan is different. No, they could not see Nalan in the Nalan's form. They are seeing only Bahugan, that's a dwarf-like person. They couldn't recognize. But this Rituparnan, what happened? He wanted to show all the hospitality, the king Bhim, but he refused the hospitality of Vidarbha king and asking the Bahugan to prepare the meal, because he is the personal cook of Rituparnan. Nalan was a personal cook of Rituparnan. So he asked that, no, I have my own cook and he will cook for me. Damayanti thought everything of Bahugan looks like Nalan. So here, Bahugan was preparing meal for Rituparnan. Damayanti thought a plan. She called her maidservant and said, go and see how Bahugan cooks. Give all the ingredients, all the materials, but don't give him fire and water. Wait and watch and come and tell me what happened there. So this maidservant, she went there to see that Bahugan and gave all the other materials except for water and fire to work. Bahugan, as he was a Nala Chakravarti, he saw the fireplace and immediately the fire automatically lit up. And he saw that vessel, a big vessel, and automatically the vessel got filled up with water. She was so surprised. This maidservant was so surprised, and she literally surprised to see that how he cooks. And this maidservant, she ran back and she told the queen that I never gave any water and fire, but it got lit up automatically and the vessel got filled up. Now Damayanti, was so sure, that something is going on, that I can see my husband there. But, Rupe Maitri, Viparyaha means Rupam is not like that. He is looking different. What can I do? So she said to her maidservant again to, to smuggle some item of food. They are cooked by Nalan. So when Nalan was seeing somewhere, this maidservant went and she took some food there, some vadai there, and she gave the vadai to this Damayanti. And Damayanti, she took that vadai and she could smell her husband. She could smell the taste. She could smell the smell and she could taste her husband's hand touch. She bursted to tears. She said, okay, you again, you go with the children, near this Bahugan and see and wait and watch. So this maidservant, she went with the children of Nalan near this Bahugan. And Bahugan, seeing the children, he hugged the children and he was all weeping. This maidservant asked, why are you weeping? Hugging our children. He said, no, I lost my children. I was thinking about my children and they look like them. And that's why, I was, the tears are coming from my eyes. So now Damayanti, she knows that something is going wrong and how to do, what to do. So she went to she went to her father. She bursted into tears and she went to her father and said, I want to go meet this Bahugan and, I want to fall in his feet. But this Raja Bhiman told that, no, you are the princess and you should not go there. Let him come and meet you. So here, this Bahugan, he was asked to see Damayanti, dressed for Swayamvaram. But Nalan was thinking, that Bahugan was thinking, oh, the fate was so, what is this fate? That now that I have to go and see Damayanti dressed in her full form for the Swayamvaram, ready for Swayamvaram. She's going to marry another husband. What is this fate? So thinking that, he went there. This Bahugan went there to see Damayanti. But she was not dressed like, with silk saris or jewels or all that thing. She was wearing the same sari, same old sari when he left, when the Nalan left in the midnight. She was wearing the same sari, same half sari, with all tears in his face. The face got swelled up, and she was so lean, tired, exhausted. Seeing this Bahugan, Damayanti, throwing all her decorum to the winds, she burst into tears. She burst, she don't know what to do. She's meeting a dark, short and deformed man instead of, fair, tall and handsome Nalan. She asked, why does a man want to send his dutiful wife back into the father's home? The man replied, because he has lost his kingdom and cannot support his wife in the manner she was accustomed, to before marriage. And now Nalan, he thought that the good time has come now. So he then put on the silk garments, given by that Karkodagan. And then he returned to the original form. Nalan was, Damayanti was so happy that the good time has come. And he could see the Nalan in his original form. So she prostrated before Nalan, and she asked the children to prostrate before the father. King Bhim was very happy hearing that, and he said that he was very happy and asked Nalan to come and see him in the morning. So thus Nalan and Damayanti, suffered due to this, Kalipurushan. Karkodagasya Nagasya Damayandya Nalasya cha Rudubarnasya Rajarishe Kirtanam Kalinasanam. Kali will never touch those persons who chant this slogam daily in the morning. So now Rutuparnan congratulated now Damayanti and told her that she had found her husband, but he could lose not only, his best horseman and cook, but also his best friend. So Nalan, gave Upadesam now to Rutuparnan. That is this Ashwavidyai. He taught that he learned, Rutuparnan learned Ashwavidyai from Nalan, and Nalan learned Aksha Vidyai and Ganana Vidyai from Rutuparnan. And Nalan sent a challenge now to his brother. Both of them now played the game of this dice. Nalan was, Nalan now won all the kingdom back, leaving this Pushkaran with nothing. And now Pushkaran lost everything, back to Nalan. But Nalan did not do so, do anything like Pushkaran. He gave Pushkaran a part of the kingdom, and suggested that he mend his ways. So Nalan and Damayanti then lived happily ever after. And they did not forget that Swan, who had so, sportingly taken the messages of, love. This is how this is Nala Charitram. Thus Nalan and, Rutuparnan, they are best friends. And Rutuparnan was born in Surya Vamsam. So, this is a Nala Charitram. This is not in Bhagavatam, but this is in Mahabharatam and Nala Charitram. Hearing this Nala Charitram is very, very punyam. This gives lot of punyam, because Nalan itself is a Punyashloka. Chanting his name itself will give lot of punyam. That's why, Nala Charitram is happening in between this Surya Vamsam. So we will, today we'll close this session with the Nala Charitram, and we'll start continuing the Bhagavatam session in the next, Bhagavatam in the next session. So we'll close it with Purnamadam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.